Hi guys, welcome to Office Blokes React. I'm Office Bloke Dave.
I'm Office Bloke Mike. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
Together we are the Office Blokes. True factual statement.
Yep.
15 things you didn't know about the NFL.
That's 15 more than I do now.
It's probably more than 15 anyway, I would guess.
I think our knowledge is extensive.
Stick a zero on the end of it at the very least. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to be like historical facts, or is it going to be like
Maybe.
those sort of rules, where we did a video about loopholes and things at one point, didn't we?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be anything. Similar to any of them sort of thing. I'm going along the lines of something like that. Certain team has to play on a certain day.
Oh, right.
All the away teams have to wear white. We found that out.
Exactly. Yeah. After a while.
Yeah. The Orange Bowl was founded by a ginger.
That's the. No, I can't say.
Let's do it. 15 things you didn't know about the NFL.
There's a lot about the NFL you definitely don't know. Futuristic technology implanted in the pigskin, a game ending due to a beer bottle barrage, and the most unique MVP you've never heard of. Here are 15 of the wildest things you didn't know about the NFL.
We're talking about that technology that's inside the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Years ago, one of my mates was working on something, the company he was working at, with the offside rule for football, for English football. What it was something you wore in your shirt and something that was in the ball. So when the ball left the pass and the shirt would pick up whether that player's offside or not.
Ah.
It never happened. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
I think it was so advanced.
Yeah.
But back when he started the research on it may come in in years to come. But he was starting on it years ago. But it's not happened yet. But that's what he was working on. It was something to do with something in the shirt and something to do with something in the ball that matched up. That knew when a player was offside straight away.
Interesting.
It does make sense. But would it take a lot of the fun out of the game? I know
they already have.
I know you already have, and you two were arguing about not arguing, but ranting about VAR so much and how it's ruined things. That even though that's black and white, that'd probably piss people off more, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
A definitive answer, and you're like,
possibly. Yeah.
I'm just interested to know what technology they have in these balls.
if it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe.
I get you. Yeah.
You guess it would be, wouldn't you? It's got to be like a GPS type of technology, I guess.
Right.
So.
And at number 15 is a stadium catastrophe. In 2010, the Vikings had to move a game on game day to an arena nearly 700 miles away because the original plans for the game completely fell through. In the middle of the night, a foot and a half of snow crashed through the roof, avalanching onto the barren field. The wildest part, that was the 5th time the Metrodome's roof had collapsed. What's even crazier is what we have at number 14. You probably think America's most popular TV broadcast is something like The Bachelor, with almost 10 million viewers. Except that's like 100 million viewers short of the record. The most viewed is Super Bowl 49, 114 million viewers. In fact, the big game has 29 out of the top 30 most watched TV broadcasts in U.S. history. The only non-Super Bowl in the top 30, the final episode of MASH in 1983.
Yeah.
But the ending of MASH isn't the only tragedy. At number 13.
Interesting.
I kind of knew that.
I used to like watching
a quiz. It's a quiz question. That
Is it?
Is it?
I used to like watching a bit of MASH years ago when it was just randomly on TV.
Yeah.
I never knew it was that. I knew it was big, but I didn't know it was that level of big.
What program? I've never watched it.
Yeah, it's a.
I don't know why. It's
a regular quiz
was it
question.
like late 70s? It was sort of on.
Yeah.
It's one of them that they, at some point, maybe Saturday afternoons, they'd have repeats on normal TV over here.
Yeah.
It was all right.
15 is Cleveland's Orlando Brown, who was one of the highest paid offensive linemen in the entire league. Then, December 19th, 1999 happened. Against Jacksonville, referee Jeff Triplett chucked a penalty flag directly into Brown's right.
We did.
Yeah, in the eye, right?
Yeah, didn't
right,
it?
yeah.
Did it blind him in an eye or something?
Something happened anyway. I can't remember what the outcome was in the end.
I think it ended his career.
I think it did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it did. You're right.
Right eye. He was left partially blind and sued the NFL for $200 million since Cleveland dropped him after the injury. They settled for $25 million, but Brown missed 3 seasons and was never the same. And number 12 is something you definitely didn't know has become an essential part of the football itself. You know how you're able to see next-gen stats while watching from home? Well, in 2015, the league started testing out a new technology in the pigskin. There are chips, no, not those kind of chips, microchips in the football that detect how far the ball traveled and the speed in which it traveled. The chipped footballs are only accurate to within 6 inches of the actual spot, and they don't account for the player's knee or elbow being down. So it's mainly just used for data collection and marking things like punts out of bounds for now. But the chain gang might want to start looking for a new job because the technology is only getting better. But the NFL commissioner never needs to worry about another job. Taking us to number 11. Roger Goodell makes more than every player. Yes, more than the $500 million man himself, Patrick Mahomes, and even the newly highest-paid NFL player in league history by annual amount, Lamar Jackson, who makes a lowly $52 million a season. Since 2021, Roger Goodell has averaged $64 million per year. And now for number 10, we're talking about arguably
that money in it.
What was his job capacity?
He's like the head of the NFL.
So he's like the main guy.
Call it president, and he's something like the NFL or commissioner, I think they call it.
Yeah.
And is that a voted-in job or something, or it's like is he a shareholder?
I would imagine it'd be a voted-in job.
You think so, wouldn't you? Surely, yeah. They usually are these.
But if they're doing such a good job and they're promoting it around the world, give them whatever they want.
Absolutely.
As long as you're making the money, as long as you are taking the money and the profit, pay them whatever they want.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? That's why the players are paid so much, isn't it? Because the teams are doing well, they're making money off it. So,
but it's growing. You look at the sport on a global scale. Look how big it's getting over here again. It's real good traction over here.
Is it different now to how it was in the 80s when it got big?
Over here?
Yeah.
I think
is there a different feeling? Do you think there's more longevity this time than there was then?
I think so, yeah. It's more of a novelty in the sort of like early 80s, wasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Definitely a novelty thing about it, but...
Yeah, I think it's definitely more... I think a lot of people are giving up on English football.
Yeah.
Because it's just getting too expensive.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're not looking after the fans. They've just signed a contract in the EFL to show something like 400 games a season or whatever it is, 380 games a season throughout the EFL. And it's a crazy amount. Football's going to be on every single night. English football, from Premier League all the way down to the lower leagues.
There's such thing as overkill, isn't there?
But they still won't show it at 3 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah, which is stupid.
They had it when it suited them on Saturday.
Exactly.
Our game was 3 o'clock on Saturday on the TV.
Correct.
See, at first I heard that was due to football violence.
But then due to grassroots football.
I was going to say, it turns out there's a clash with something in there.
Grassroots.
Yeah.
So they don't want to take away from grassroots, people playing, people going to watch the lower league teams and all that kind of stuff. But now it's just coming. They don't care now. So they're going to say, we're going to show 383 games or whatever it is per season, which means it's going to be every night.
Yeah.
So teams travelling from say Halifax to Woking on the west coast, on the south coast.
Yeah.
Think how much that's going to be? To the fan. 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night.
Yeah.
The 3 o'clock.
With no train home.
3 o'clock.
That's a definite.
Well, the transport infrastructure is shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the 3 o'clock kickoffs are shown around the world, though, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Just not in this country.
Which is mad when you think it's being played in this country. The fans are in this country, and they can't watch it legally.
And the cost to buy it in other countries, it's like $50 a year in some countries.
That's all it is.
Whereas over here, I pay like close to £200 a month for everything I've got.
Isn't it? Yeah.
That's just for the TV, and I go to the games.
Yeah.
So it's even worse.
Wow.
There's definitely a lot more traction over here now, especially now they're doing the matches over here as well, doing proper, sort of like league matches as well, aren't they? Wembley, at Tottenham's ground, and things like that.
You look at our rearranged fixtures against Brighton. It's Wednesday night at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
That means it'll finish at 10. I'm not getting home till 4 in the morning.
Yeah, long way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Long way.
There's no trains at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
So do you think people are bending it off to a degree and moving to other sports?
I think they are moving to other sports, and I think American football is getting a lot of traction over in this country.
What about women's football? And I know we're going into a complete different debate here, but they're getting record crowds at the moment.
Not for me.
No, I'm not saying for you, but I'm just wondering how many people are sort of defecting over to the women's teams because it's cheaper, the games are
it's not really that cheaper, I don't think.
Is it not?
No. And I don't think the games are at reasonable times. I think it's the same. It's all for TV. I don't care about the match going fan.
The worst fan behavior in NFL history. Did you know that a game once ended because fans were launching unidentified flying objects onto the field? In 2001, Cleveland needed a win to remain in the playoff picture, but trailed Jacksonville 15-10 with just a minute left. On 4th down, Tim Couch found Quincy Morgan for the first down, even though it looked like Morgan lost control of the ball. Cleveland quickly spiked the ball, but the officials still reviewed the 4th down play and overturned it. A blatant illegal call as another play had already been run. This cost Cleveland the game, so the hometown fans bombarded the field with beer bottles. The players and officials quickly ran off the field with time still on the clock in fear of being pelted, but the league office wasn't having it. They informed the teams that they had to get back out on the field and finish the game. So each team sent out 11 random players to run a couple of QB meals and get out of there. I don't know whose idea it was to provide the Cleveland faithful with beer bottles as ammo, but that was never going to end well. And because of this, many stadiums across the country banned the sale of beer and bottles. And the event is now infamously known as the Bottlegate. And that's almost as insane as...
So that's 2 of these so far that we've reacted to videos about.
Yeah.
I think we're doing all right now. 2 for 7 or whatever it is.
Yeah, we did know about that, didn't we?
Yeah. Proper bottles in the ground. That's it's a bad recipe, that one, isn't it? Wow.
It's amazing that at any sort of venue you still have glass bottles. Restaurants, but any like nightclub, bars where people are getting a bit late night dancing, scuffling about sort of thing.
I was at a coronation party, like a street party weekend, and the guy in front of me had got like 4 bottles of beer, and I was like, in bottles as well. I was like, wow. Just walked off with him, and I'm like, not sure about that. I'm not sure that's allowed. But who am I? I'm just like, I don't give a shit.
Is the idea that sparked number 9. Did you know that there used to be a separate football league outside of the United States? And huge names played there. In 1991, the NFL established a 10-team European League, ironically naming it the World League of American Football, later changing it to NFL Europe in 1998. It was designed as a developmental program, much like the G League for the NBA. The biggest names that were part of this league include Kurt Warner, Jake Delhomme, Adam Vinatieri, and even Terry Crews. But in 2007, the league fizzled out because the games were simply just not fun to watch, and they were losing $30 million a year. And quality over quantity is the reason number 8 came to be. In 1999, the New Orleans Saints traded every single pick they had for one very unique player. The backstory is so ridiculous that ESPN even made a hilarious magazine cover with that player and Saints head coach Mike Ditka together because of the lengths that were taken. New Orleans' draft that year consisted of 6 total picks, but it gets crazier. One of those picks was already the number 12 overall spot in the draft, but that wasn't high enough to get the player they wanted. So New Orleans traded all 6 picks and a first and third rounder for the next draft to Washington for just the number 5 overall pick. Then the Saints drafted Ricky Williams, a running back. People lose their minds when running backs go in the first round these days. Could you imagine trading your entire draft for one? As expected, this ended horribly, as the Saints went 3-13 that year, and Mike Ditka was fired after the season. But our next fact at number 7 shows way more sacrifice. Green Bay Packers fans have waited nearly a whole lifetime to get season tickets. Literally, the current wait list for these tickets is over 140,000 people, and only 70 to 100 new tickets are handed out each year. So some of these fans have waited over 50 years to get a hold of these precious tickets. At that rate, you'd have a better chance of actually playing in the NFL. And that takes us to number 6.
I thought of building a new stadium.
Yeah, there's obviously the demand there, isn't there?
Looks like it, doesn't it?
I think probably stubble will have them.
Yeah. Build a 200,000 capacity venue, arena, and just give everyone on the waiting list their ticket.
I was looking for tickets for a game the other day, and they'd not gone on sale yet, but I wasn't guaranteed to get one. Everyone was hustling and fighting around, sort of like there were all kinds of arguments going on at the game, and I went on StubHub just out of interest to see if they'd not gone on sale yet. StubHub had them for sale, and I'm like, they must you must buy them, and then they try and source them. Something along them lines. Because they hadn't gone on sale, or they'd had word from the club that they were going to get an allocation.
They use bots, don't they, to buy up all the tickets, so they can buy them quicker than you can. Same with gig concerts and stuff. It's literally just a bit of software that does it.
I got a ticket in the end, and I was the first one to get it.
In
where we sit, and I went, yes. And everyone was looking at me. I went, got Brentford. Seen everyone on the phone looking at checking their emails.
If you're from one very specific island, you are over 50 times more likely to play in the NFL than anyone else. American Samoa is an island with a population under 60,000 people. Yet, there are more than 30 players of Samoan descent in the NFL today, and over 200 playing Division I college football. That would be like 30 NFL players coming out of Youngstown, Ohio. Oh, you've never heard of that city? Yeah, that's the point. According to CBS News, a Samoan male is 56 times more likely to play in the NFL than any other American. No wonder they call it Football Island. Now, for number 5, we think the NFL sent out the wrong script with this one. This had to be a mean joke when they wrote this guy in as league MVP. This player is the only person in NFL history to win MVP at this position. In 1982, Washington's Mark Mosley set a record, making 20 out of 21 field goals, 95.2%. Yes, a kicker won the NFL's Most Valuable Player Award. The funniest part, that same year, Washington won Super Bowl 17, but Mosley missed 4 field goals during that playoff run. And at number 4, we have the Buffalo Bills, who not only struggled against one very specific division, but in the worst way possible. From 1990 to 1994, Buffalo played in 4 straight Super Bowls, lost every single one, and it was all to teams in the same division. They lost to the Giants, the Redskins, and the Cowboys twice. They could just not figure out the NFC East, and they haven't made it to the big game since. But this next team wasn't even winning playoff.
That must be devastating as a fan.
Just a
4
bit.
years in a row.
Wow.
Spurs of American football, aren't they?
Games. At number 3 is the team that set the winless playoff drought record that still stands to this day. This team has literally moved to more cities than playoff games they've won, moving from Chicago to St. Louis and finally to where they reside today, Arizona.
Rams.
In 1998, they finally won in the postseason, beating the Cowboys 20-7. Over the course of 50 years, the Cardinals won 0 playoff games. But hey, by this time, some Green Bay Packers fans could finally start getting season tickets. And if you think that was horrible, number 2 is horrific. Why? Because it's related to the Chicago Bears. The Bears hold some of the weirdest records, but this one takes the cake. Every single other franchise in the league has a quarterback that has accomplished this next feat, except for the Bears. They are the only NFL team without a 4,000-yard passer. The closest they ever got was in 1995, when Eric Kramer threw for 3,838 yards. Who will be the first Windy City signal caller to break this curse? But all of this is nothing compared to the absurdity we have at number 1. There's absolutely no way that you know the astronomically young age of the youngest Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee. Keep in
19.
Are we going to guess?
16.
Well, you've got to be pro, so it'd be post college. But then if you
I'm thinking if it's sort of like early 1900s, maybe there's slightly different rules regarding age and stuff like that.
Is that what he said? I missed.
No, I'm
That's
just
what he's
guessing
thinking.
that
I'm going to go 17.
it's got to be younger than the norm, hasn't
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's going to be some loophole in there that someone
I guess
completed
so.
college early and
Yeah.
was also 7'5" tall and built like that.
that you know the astronomically young age of the youngest Pro Football Hall of Fame inductee. Keep in mind that you have to be at least 5 years removed from your playing career to even be eligible for Canton. Now, with that said, who's the youngest player? Ironically, he was a Chicago Bear, but a running back, Gail Sayers. He played just 7 seasons, from 1965 to 1971, was the NFL's leading rusher twice, and was a 5-time first-team All-Pro. Then, in 1977, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame at just 34 years young, a feat that could remain intact forever.
See.
right.
Yeah.
I kind of
Right,
misinterpreted
yeah,
the question there
same,
a little
Same
bit.
here, with no rules regarding getting
Hall of
inducted
Fame, is
into
it?
it. So
Yeah.
fair enough.
Some interesting stuff on there.
Very interesting. Yeah. There's one or two things that we did know we've sort of like reacted to before.
Yeah.
which are
The one you never
interesting
get on
stuff.
there is the Chicago Bears passing yardage.
Yeah.
No one's ever got 4,000
That's
in the
bizarre,
season.
isn't it? Everyone else has, apart from
Every
that.
other team's got one.
It seems mad that guy was on 3,843 or whatever it was and then retired by the
Yeah.
sounds of it. Or maybe he was moved to
Moved
another
on to-
team
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe it was.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah,
I
enjoyed
like things
that.
like that. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. Don't forget like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Cheers, guys.